Zola, Sholwana also standing by, keeping a close eye on the counting as it continues in various parts of the country. Zola, where are you? What are you seeing?
I am at the Results Operations Centre, Naledi, in the Northern Cape and Kimberley, where obviously results are still being counted. When I had an interaction with the Premier of the province, he said usually at this time the Democratic Alliance is leading, but it's actually quite surprising when you look at the board right now where the African National Congress is leading, and he's quite confident that it will retain its spot of obviously being the majority, having the majority rather in the in this particular province. The last elections it had about 57% of votes, and he says this time they are gunning for 60%. Premier Zamani Sol, thank you so much for your time. I mean, we are looking at the results now. Of course, they are still counting, but you are confident that your political party will have the majority once again.
Yeah. Good morning, and good morning to the viewers of Newzroom Afrika. And I think we are doing very well now. Expectations are all the yes. I've been here almost for all the elections, and this time of the day, the DA should be leading, because normally the first postings that come in are from your predominantly white areas. So there's a strange phenomenon now. The ANC is leading since early hours of the morning, and which is quite good for us. Last elections, 2019, we got about 57.5%, and we are definitely looking forward to increasing that to plus 60%, and it's achievable. We've done our reconciliations last night. We won't get anything less than 60% here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the confidence, Premier, must come from a point of assurance, in a sense that you are confident that the ANC has been doing things right in this province. But we can't shy away from the problems that are there, that are visible. Unemployment, for instance, the issue of infrastructure that some residents have been complaining about. How are you planning to rectify those?
South Africa is a society in transition. We're in that transition mode now for 30 years from apartheid colonialism. There will always be developmental challenges. And I think the reason why people are voting for the ANC is because of the eagerness, the commitment that they can see from the African National Congress to tackle these challenges and resolve them. We created jobs here in the Northern Cape. If you want the figures, we've created, over the period of 5 years, we've created about 74,000 jobs, net new job opportunities. So if somebody says we've not been creating jobs, it's not true. But the challenge of unemployment, and particularly unemployment amongst young people, is still a major challenge. And we need to come up with much more creative way, with a much more accelerated response, in order to ensure that we get more young people in gainful employment. So that's one of the major challenges that is confronting us. You are quite correct that there's major challenges of infrastructure, issues of housing. How do we improve and maintain the bulk service infrastructure, and in most of our communities, and particularly in big towns? We are working on that. The amounts of monies that have been directed into that front, I don't have to give you the figures now. Just where we are now, so Plaki municipality, they got 2.5 billion rand from National Treasury to increase the bulk water infrastructure in this town. You go around here, you see there's work that the municipality is doing. We don't shy away from challenges. There are developmental challenges the country is confronted with, but there is massive amount of work that we are doing to respond to those challenges.
In the last elections, there was a huge gap between the African National Congress and the Democratic Alliance, which I believe that's what gave you confidence that the ANC will retain its position. But by looking at the numbers and, you know, the amount of people that came out this time, do you foresee something similar, a 30% difference, or it could be more?
In terms of our own reconciliation, there's roughly about 420,000 people that have voted for these elections out of a voting population of about 650,000, which is far lesser in terms of our expectations for voter turnout. Our target was that voter turnout would be around 75%, and now we see voter turnout is around 70%. And with the last elections, 2019, ANC got 57.5% and the DA got about 21%. So I don't know how the DA will perform now, but I know they are disruptors. For an example, the Patriotic Alliance is disrupting the constituency of the DA, and as well as the Freedom Front Plus is disrupting the constituency of the DA. The white constituency of the DA is disrupted by Freedom Front Plus, and the colored constituency of the DA is disrupted by the Patriotic Alliance. So I don't know how they will perform, but we are confident of victory, that we are going to perform much better than we performed in 2019.
Thank you very much for your time. That was the chairperson of the ANC in the province, who is saying they are certain, or rather victory is certain, for the African National Congress in the province for this year's elections. I can tell you, Naledi, that it's quite tense here at The Rock this time with political parties, as you'd understand that there are more political formations compared to the last election, with everyone eagerly waiting for the results as they have been updating on the monitors that are behind us.